Greetings everyone and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Begin with us of stories. 30-year-old woman named Yeni Ndogmo Christelle Michelle, known affectionately as Dudu, has been killed in her own home allegedly by her husband in the town of Ambam in the south region of Cameroon. And today is being commemorated as the International Hypertension Day. We delve into the lives of those living with this chronic condition. Living with hypertension demands significant lifestyle changes as patients must adapt to new routines and medical regimens. And as Cameroon celebrates the 52nd edition of the National Unity Day, a day that inhabitants of Bamenda, Northwest region and its surroundings fear if for the defense and security forces, it is another opportunity to reassure the population on their security. They have assured to break the odds. Good evening once more and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. A 30-year-old woman known as Yeni Christelle Ndogmo, affectionately called Dudu, has been killed in her home allegedly by her husband in the town of Ambam in the south region of Cameroon. The circumstances of the tragedy, however, remains unclear, as Gladys Ambodibank tells us more.
According to reliable sources, the incidents all started on May 15 when Yeni Ndogmo Christelle Michelle celebrated her birthday at her hairdressing salon in the local market. Reports say her lover, with whom she had entertained an extramarital relationship, got her beaten for reasons still unknown. The following day, in front of her children, Yeni was involved in a heated argument with her husband. Eyewitnesses report that she was then also beaten by her spouse. Yeni was taken to the hospital in Ambam, where a medical examination revealed signs of a nosebleed. However, just a few hours later, she collapsed and died.
I heard a quarrel. When I went out to check, I saw her living, bleeding. She told me she was going to the hospital. Later, I heard she was dead.
Once alerted, the local law enforcement quickly arrived at the scene to investigate the circumstances surrounding her death. Her husband, described as the primary suspect, is currently being held at the main police station in the town of Ambam.
I learned about her death from my fourth child. I was shocked and asked what happened. I had just returned from the farm and had no idea.
The population of Ambam is still in shock, with many residents visiting the hospital to mourn the loss of the mother of 5 children and 1 grandchild. The public prosecutor has been notified. An investigation is going on at the public security in Ambam.
And we stay in the south region of Cameroon, but this time around we talk about escalating insecurity in the town of Kribi, which has prompted a response from the city's traditional leaders with reports of inside suspicious deaths and a surge in drug-related activities. These leaders are stepping up the fight to safeguard their communities. More with our reporter, Saleh Sherifa.
Traditional rulers in the Ocean Division of Cameroon have taken the lead to stamp out insecurity and violence such as feminicide, suspicious death, drug trafficking and consumption.
Kribi grandit, c'est parce que les villages aussi grandissent. L'insécurité s'installe, tout ce qui s'installe, on appelle donc à la vigilance de tout le monde.
Condemn all violent acts who are committed in our division.
Vigilance committees are created in the neighborhoods and villages in Ocean Division, assisted and coordinated by law enforcement officers and administrative authorities.
De rechercher les informations relatives à tous les actes d'insécurité qui peuvent avoir cours dans le quartier ou le village et en vue de donner ces informations aux forces de maintien de l'ordre en vue de l'interpellation de tous les bandits qui veut mettre en mal la sécurité des personnes et des biens dans ce village et quartier.
Promoting living together, the fight against insecurity are the main missions assigned to the new traditional rulers installed by their peers in Kribi.
And today is being commemorated as the International Hypertension Day, an opportunity for Canal, the international team, to delve into the lives of those living with the chronic condition. Living with hypertension demands significant lifestyle changes as patients must adapt to new routines and regimens. Our reporter visited a health center in the Cameroon's economic hub. Her story.
Tamga Daniel, 67 years old, was diagnosed with hypertension 4 years ago. The adjustment in his daily habit have been challenging but necessary to manage his condition. It's been 4 years now I have been diagnosed of hypertension. The doctor restricted me from alcohol, palm oil and many other things. I had already adapted myself to always consume my drink, but now I cannot. When my wife cooks at home, she is forced to separate mine before adding salt and Maggi for the children, and there are some food I don't eat. Hypertension, a lifetime disease that when being diagnosed has no cure. He lives with fear. Brenda, 47 years old, who has just been diagnosed of hypertension, says she has no fear, but rather a willingness to follow the doctor's prescribed treatment.
I'm going to reduce the consumption of salt because my husband also has hypertension. Consumption of salt, no eating of Maggi. I will avoid fatty foods, eat a lot of vegetables and fruits, and do sports.
Living with hypertension requires diligent care. Individuals must regularly monitor their blood pressure and strictly adhere to their prescribed treatment to manage the condition effectively. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and medication are crucial components of this new lifestyle.
And hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, continue to be a major public health concern around the world. According to the World Health Organization reports, hypertension affects 1 in 3 adults in Cameroon, 1 in 2 adults over the age of 40 affected by the disease. Age and certain genetic predispositions can increase an individual's risk of high blood pressure. Hypertension is a leading risk factor for serious cardiovascular events like heart attacks and strokes. Persons living with it are forced to adapt in a new lifestyle, including sedentary lifestyles, poor diet, obesity, and stress. According to Dr. Amel Jomo Ngongang, a cardiologist, hypertension is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease, stroke, and kidney disease, and it is a growing public health concern that requires urgent attention. He talks about good actions and the prevalence rates of the disease in Cameroon in this excerpt selected by our reporter Kribi Aya Ari.
L'hypertension artérielle, c'est une maladie chronique.
Arterial hypertension is a chronic disease which is quite serious and deteriorate as the level of blood pressure exceeds 140/90. This means if a person aged more than 80 years old goes for a consultation and the blood pressure is taken and the numbers are above 140, we can see that the person has hypertension. Some persons do have it but don't know, so it's advised to always come for checkup. We can say hypertension is sometimes family line, and for those who are sick, I always advise them to adjust their diet and less salt, cube, palm oil, and don't consume fatty food.
Qui est très pauvre en matière grasse.
And in a bid to fully engage in its mission of taking care of women and children, the Yaoundé Gynaco Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital met in its first board directors meeting for this 2024, like the possession of ultrasound machines and modern laboratory. The board members ended the day with 3 main resolutions. Beatrice Ngamo completes that story.
Specialized in caring for women and children, the Yaoundé Gynecology, Obstetrics and Pediatrics Hospital, situated at Nguso neighborhood, now has all it needs to advance in its mission. This far, the hospital is now in possession of a 3 and 4D ultrasound machines and endowed with a modern laboratory. The first board meeting for this year, 2024, chaired by Louis-Philippe Sitsol Meke, was to evaluate the execution of the hospital inbuilt financial protection and state support. 3 main resolutions marked the day.
Is to first make sure that our accounts were balanced and balanced very well. That's in terms of what we received and what we spent. And the second is to change some basic nomenclature of what is contained in our organigram. And again, we thought that we should give an opening for young people who have left schools of nursing and the rest to be able to come here and do what we call internship, having balanced what we had in terms of our accounts, which was at about almost 95%.
To encourage and push hospital officials to give in their very best in these areas of gynecology, obstetrics, and pediatrics.
And as Cameroon celebrates the 52nd edition of National Day, a day that inhabitants of Bamenza, northwest region of Cameroon and its surrounding fears, if for the defense and security forces, it is another opportunity to reassure the population on their security. They have been told to break the odds. As we hear the following story with our reporter, Saleh Sharifa Annie Collins Annie.
Preparations are hotting up in Bamenda for the 52nd edition of the National Day celebrations on May 20. After individual rehearsal sessions around their respective offices upstation, the various military and paramilitary services have this Thursday held the first joint rehearsal session downtown Commercial Avenue, Bamenda. Supervised by the commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Buba Dobekreo, and his colleague of the Gendarmerie shouted out instructions pertaining to marching choreography, smart looks of a real soldier, and clean uniforms, as there will be no room for mistakes on Monday, the D-Day.
Maintenant, quand les armées passent, c'est la police qui suit. C'est 20 pas.
Military March Past coordinators like the commander of the 51st Motorized Infantry Brigade dashed from one end of the grandstand to another to make sure directives from hierarchy are respected to near perfection.
We have arranged what we are supposed to arrange, and tomorrow will be the best. We have today, tomorrow and after tomorrow.
The second and third joint March Past rehearsals have been billed for this Friday and Saturday with special instructions from the Penitentiary Administration to be present after their conspicuous absence on this first day.
And the last general March Past rehearsals ahead of the National Day celebration come on May 20. 2024 took place this Friday in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, the military and civilians took turns at the 20th May Boulevard for a sort of synchronization and foretaste of what the day would look like on May 20, 2024. More with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
The arrival of the president in the body of Chief Warrant Officer Emile Augustin Etundi at the 20th May Boulevard in Yaoundé. He is welcomed in the singing of the national anthem. This is followed by the review of troops before taking his seat, as it is supposed to be, though he does not sit. The march past then starts, this time with the military, as is the tradition. And all is in place to ensure they respect the timing. 45 minutes they should conclude. Instruction of Troop Commander of the Military Parade, Brigadier General Donatien Milingi Noma. The Presidential Guard, Foot Troops, National Gendarmerie, the Army, the Brigade of Military Headquarters, the B, Air Force, Navy, firefighters, the police corps, penitentiary administration, customs, ex-war veterans, all revising the last time their moves and swings this Friday, May 17. The second part is civilian march past, involving primary political parties, especially those represented at the National Assembly. This year, a special troop from will be released for the National Day celebration on Monday, May 28.
And let's now focus on one of the busiest roundabouts in Cameroon's economic hub, where an improvised market has been created at the Dokoti tunnel. Here buyers can find whatever they need from the street vendors and merchants. They exhibit their goods even on sidewalks. Gladys Ambodibang has the rest of that story.
Under this tunnel, a few meters from the Ndokoti main roundabout in Douala, a big market has been created. Clothes, shoes, bags and other accessories are sold, displayed on the walls and sidewalk. These obstruct the flow of traffic for drivers and pedestrians.
When we arrive here in the morning, when there is traffic, we do not exhibit our goods. When we exhibit our goods when there is traffic, we are disturbed. We think to send our goods aside when there is traffic so that pedestrians should not be hindered from crossing. The council disturbs us a lot. They usually chase us.
The presence of these improvised markets does not seem to bother users. Some take the opportunity to do shopping as they pass by.
Come to buy a pair of slippers. It is cheaper here than in the market.
Beyond repression by municipal authorities, these vendors say they make bricks business.
It's been 2 years since I started selling, and I assure you that I make ends meet from selling at this tunnel.
The Ndokoti tunnel is a strategic location for these merchants, but crossing becomes dangerous once night falls.
And lots of things will spice up your weekend, from music, stand-up, a comedy, a theater, exhibition, and a lot more will brighten up your weekend. We have Cozy, Lidl, and many other artists who all spice up your weekend. Kizzy Kika unveils activities this weekend.
Let's commence this week with Lidl. Lidl's tour with her album is not over yet. Tonight, she will be live in the northern region. If you are based in Ngaoundere, do not miss this show. Come and experience something special with slam poetry. Her words are soft and healing to the heart. She will be at the French Alliance. Her next stop will be at Garoua and Maroua on the 18th and 20th, respectively. Away from that, let's return to Douala. Kosi and Shoyo will be live at Las Vegas VIP Douala on the 19th of May from 8 p.m. Go grab your white attire for this concert. It's a night in white with Kosi. Hurry and reserve your seat to enjoy his latest hit, Credit Alert, live. Are you a lover of the arts? Come and experience the opening of Crypto Guinness on Saturday, the 18th from 4:30 p.m. at the French Institute Douala. This exhibition features around 10 Cameroonian artists. Come and relax. Later the same Saturday evening, the 237 Dance Festival will take over at the French Institute in Douala, where traditional and French hip-hop dances will merge to express the resilience of migrants in search of a better life. Do not forget to check out Mimi's latest song, Pas ta vie. It is available on all legal streaming platforms. Enjoy your weekend and stay out of trouble.
And thank you so much, Kizi Kiga. And that's how we saw it on this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. And coming up next is a debrief with Mathieu Fangwa. As for me, take another rendezvous, but this time around on Monday. Good night.